speakers ahead of us. We're going to have some fun today. Our first speaker this morning is a soon-to-be DTN, Tim Ricke.
Oh boy.
Tim had the fortune of coaching 2 Toastmasters who reached the Toastmasters International Speaker Contest. Keep in mind there are 30,000 competitors each year. Tim himself did not attempt to enter a contest until his 5th year as a member of Toastmasters, and then he reached his this morning. Tim is going to give us a step-by-step system he developed to help Toastmasters reach that level. Please take notice. And please welcome Toastmaster Tim Ricke with his speech, Speak Like a Champion.
I have an itinerant list here, if I said that right, of the things that I went to. This is Jim, a 45-minute workshop at conferences for Toastmasters. So I've got 7 minutes, so write fast, okay? All right. Carmelo does this one very well. You sure?
That's what's up.
You're waiting for, because it's a pause. And when you do a pause, if you're serious, you kind of have a non-expression. If it's humor, you kind of start with a smile a little bit, so they know what's coming. That's how you can start a speech that way. You build the anticipation. The best in the world was Michael Jackson. He was really good at that. Start strong. When my first speech at Toastmasters was not an icebreaker. I did a speech about the Green Bay Packers and how I affected the outcome of a game from something I said to one of the players. But it opened like this. Are you ready for some football?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah! 36, yeah, I get the audience to react. That's what you want to do. Inspire and be passionate about what you're talking about. I've seen people come to the lecture and say, it's really important I feel about women's rights of this. Well, wait a minute, I feel what's important about women's rights. You've got to be passionate about what you're talking about. It's very important, especially if you're going into a contest. Preparation. Darren McCroy, does anybody know him? He was a world champion in 2001. Did I coach him? No. He is a good friend, but Darren opened up his speech very excellent way. He came up and he said, you ever had one of those days when everything goes so bad you fall on your face? And he falls on his face on the stage. And he's down there and he goes, Mr. Toastmaster, Jay, gentlemen in the audience. He wouldn't speak right there. That's how well it was done. So he was well prepared, and that's what you have to be. Now I suggest to people going through their speeches to take a blue and a yellow marker on when you're going to go up in volume. Use the yellow, so it means you're going to raise your voice, and blue to know you're going to lower it. Blue is it's easy to remember. And then when you look at your speech, you automatically know how to do this. And also there's 2 other things. People think about vocal variety, but there's also vocal speed. If you're doing comedy, you're going to really talk fast, right, Jordan? That's what Jordan goes. I guess
Is he in the house?
so you notice comics go fast. But if you're a serious speaker, you know what you're recording. You're going to slow it down. You agree with that? Yes. And humor. Now, everybody knows what Tool Time was in Tim Allen. Remember him?
Yeah.
He started as a Toastmaster in Detroit. He did a speech where he talked about, I'm so tired, back in the 70s, I'm so tired of these women's rights things, I want my stuff. That's how he started. That's how Tool Time really started. He did that speech and he won the state for humor. And then he did stand up for a few years and he got a phone call. This is Walt Disney Company. We would like to talk to you about doing a TV show. You never know what happens when you enter a contest, and of course, Tool Time, and he's still on, right? I think he's got a show going right now. Mark Twain, in the Bill Go Speaker School, I happened to attend that. And Mark Twain started that school when he was still alive, of course, and then 2 or 3 other speakers he trained, 1 or 2 each year. And then, at the last one, Bill Go said, you know, I want this year with more people, so he takes 12 people every 3 months. And I went to that school and learned about doing vignettes, little short stories that try to do another one. You've heard me do the one about Nothing Go Wrong and Elvis impersonator. They're really short little stories, but they're funny. They weren't funny when you're doing them, but they're funny stories about it. Nothing could go wrong. And everything goes wrong. when I did the Elvis shows, everything went wrong. Every single show I did, something would go wrong. Usually it wasn't me, it was sound or lines or something along those lines. So something will go wrong. Try and feed off that as a speaker and take it into it. You've seen Jeff do this many times. He'll take your cable ties and put them all together and nail you with it, right? He'll nail it with it. And it gets it. How many of those trophies you got now, Jeff? Big trophies from doing that. Say it with style. By that I mean be yourself. Don't try and be someone else when you're speaking. Pick up from them little clues, but be yourself, because your audience knows you or will know you from that point on, and there's no, your confidence isn't going to waver because you're yourself. It's that important to do that. Command presence. How about a little eye contact? If you're walking around the room, go over and say, what did you think about that? Touch them. Yeah. Don't do it offensively, but touch someone. Those things really drive home an argument for you. And dress the part. You know that I'm going to speak, I'm going to be dressed in a suit. Even though for a while I couldn't, I take the mellow for helping me do that. And the slight differences. Terry Ann Newsom was the Miss America winner in 1963. She lived in Wisconsin. In Appleton, Wisconsin, where I lived, and I met Terry. Matter of fact, her old boyfriend was my boss at a jewelry store. And I said, Terry, what do you think was the one thing going through those contests that made you win? And she said, the left turn. What? And she explained it to me. She said, you know, all the contests come out in the evening gowns, and they go out and they go in front of the director and make the right turn. She said, but I went out about one. So she went the other way, she made the left turn. But she noticed her eyes immediately jumped right to it. She said, I think that's what he is. She's a very good singer, but that's the edge. So little things in speech can make all the difference in the world. Gestures, don't forget about your gestures. When I talk about going back in time, I go like this. You kind of tell you it's going back. Little gestures like that. Or when I ask you, you raise your hand, right? Anybody heard of this? And they raise their hand. Write out your speech. Men, 1,000 words would be a 6.5 minute speech. You do not want to make it close to 7 or 7.5, because if you win at one level, you go to the next, the audience gets bigger, it has to go to the back of the room and come back before you can open your mouth to the next line. And if you're funny, they're not going to even hear it. You'd be in serious trouble, so make sure you do that. Kelly Kellogg, who remembers Kelly Kellogg? She had a speech, I was a mentor here in the club, and she told me her whole story, what she wanted to talk about being her eighth grader. But the one thing she talked about was the fact that, you know, when I was a child, she said, my great-great-great-grandmother was an Eskimo. And I looked at her and said, really? So she gets up and she does a speech, says, my name is Kelly Kellogg, and I am an Eskimo. The room just went nuts. Some of us remember that. Yeah. I'm just about out of time. And Benjamin's, his last speech, one of his speeches was he finished with, and now I am a great American. Instead we changed it to what? I'm now a gringo, right? It worked out fine. Questions? I'll be here all day. Thank you.